This generation is the first generation in the history of mankind that won't live past their parents' lifespan. Do you realize there may be something silent inside of you that's slowly killing you? Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Nathan Bryan, and that silent killer is high blood pressure or hypertension. Hypertension is the number one modifiable risk factor for the number one killer of men and women worldwide, which is cardiovascular disease. And so we now understand the reason people develop high blood pressure. When you lose the ability to produce nitric oxide, you develop high blood pressure. And let's think about this for a minute. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. So it dilates the blood vessels. And now if you have sufficient nitric oxide, your blood vessels are dilated. We're pushing that same volume of blood through much wider blood vessels. The other thing nitric oxide does is it dampens the pulse response. So with each heartbeat, that blood vessel becomes compliant, and it dampens that pulse, that heartbeat, so it doesn't damage the blood vessels. However, when you lose the ability to produce nitric oxide, we call that endothelial dysfunction. Now your blood vessels become chronically constricted because we've lost the production of a primary vasodilator. Now we've got that same volume of blood being pumped through much smaller blood vessels, and that leads to an increase in blood pressure. And now when we each beat of the heart, that pulse wave travels really fast down that vascular tree. You got stiff arteries, and that pulse wave now damages the endothelium, causes vascular leakage, causes plaque deposition, and this plaque occurs typically at bifurcations in the arteries. So now it's known that if we can restore nitric oxide production, we can improve vascular compliance, we can dilate the blood vessels, blood pressure comes down, and we've now addressed the number one driver of cardiovascular disease. And that's probably the most important thing you can do, because 50% of the people who are treated for high blood pressure with prescription medication don't respond with better blood pressure. And why is that? Because there's no prescription medication that affects the underlying cause of hypertension, which is lack of nitric oxide. So understand what nitric oxide is, understand if you have high blood pressure, what may be the causing your high blood pressure. If you're on mouthwash, use mouthwash. We and others have published that use of mouthwash kills the oral microbiome, which is responsible for producing nitric oxide. Your blood pressure goes up. If you have endothelial dysfunction, your blood pressure goes up. So get rid of fluoride, get rid of mouthwash, wean off antacids if you're on antacids, then start to exercise. Balanced diet in moderation. And when all else fails, we have products that provide nitric oxide for you. If your body can't make it, if your body's lost the ability to make nitric oxide, our N101 line of nitric oxide products do it for you. But more importantly, we fix the reason your body can't make nitric oxide.